bottom of the fourth inning. Dave Parker barely, by inches, just misses a home run. Candy Maldonado with the hesitation, allowing Jose Canseco to score, and he fails to get Dave Parker at second base. So the Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
Breaking news. An earthquake with a 6.9 magnitude shook the Bay Area just a few moments ago. It lasted roughly 20 seconds.
Aftershocks are expected to occur, and due to the great magnitude of the earthquake, they are expected to be very large.
So far, we do not have an estimate on death tolls, property damage, or injuries, but we should have the numbers to you shortly.
This has been the largest earthquake to hit the Bay Area since the 1906 earthquake, which rated at a 7.8 on the Richter scale.
Areas like Napa, St. Helena, Sonoma, and Santa Rosa have all lost power, and it is expected to remain that way for another half hour. PG&E is currently working on the issue.
The epicenter of the earthquake is assumed to be around 9 miles northeast of Santa Cruz in the Loma Prieta peaks.
We have just been informed that the Nimitz Freeway on Interstate 800, Embarcadero Freeway, Highway 101, and Interstate 280 have all collapsed. Hence, we advise you to stay off the roads and stay safe.
We will now go live with Professor Xavier at Stanford University.
Thank you. Now this earthquake was caused by the San Andreas Fault, siding tectonic plate. What this means is that there was pressure built inside the fault, and this pressure was relieved by the Pacific plate siding north on the North American plate. Triangulating the position of the earthquake, ladies and gentlemen, we're having an aftershock. Are we good? Are we still alive? Okay, sorry about that. So, as I was saying, triangulating the position of the earthquake tells us that its epicenter is approximately 10 miles north of Santa Cruz, near Mount Loma Prieta, with a forward delta of 11 miles. Convection currents occur below the lithosphere in the mantle. This causes tectonic plates to move with them. In the Loma Prieta quake, convection currents push the Pacific plate north against the North American plate. We know that plate tectonics exist because paleontologists have found identical fossils on the border of continents that touch the Pacific Oceans. It is impossible for any animal to successfully cross the Pacific Ocean, so logically they were once connected. Also, the continents fit together like puzzle pieces. There are 4 types of plate boundaries: divergent boundaries, convergent boundaries, and colliding boundaries, and sliding boundaries. In divergent boundaries, molten material rises up from the Earth's crust and pushes 2 plates apart. New crust is formed as the molten heart. Convergent colliding boundaries occur 2 controlled plates which collide, causing mountain ranges. Convergent subducting boundaries occur between the oceanic plate and the continental plate. The oceanic plate is denser, so naturally subducts under the continental plate. Sliding boundaries occur mainly between 2 oceanic plates. The 2 plates slide past each other along the fault line. The Loma Prieta earthquake is a result of sliding boundaries, the San Andreas Fault. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Professor Xavier.
We will now go to Liam Finkelsteimer at the Nimitz Freeway collapse. How's it going down there, Liam?
Things are looking pretty bad here. As you can see, a portion of the bridge has collapsed onto the lower deck, and unfortunately, a car unknowingly drove into the collapse. We'll now go down to an interview with a Giants fan who witnessed the quake. Thank you. We're here with Jamila Shimmy, a Giants fan who was getting ready to watch the 3rd game of the World Series when the quake struck. Tell us, what was your experience like?
Well, it was about 3 minutes until the game started, and they were doing review highlights from game 2. And all of a sudden, it just started shaking. Everything was shaking. You know, out of the heat of the moment, I wanted to grab my family and just evacuate. But the security guards, they stopped us and they tried to reassure us that everything was being okay. But really, we knew that something was not right. But in the end, we were all fine. We got out safely, but out of my all 10 years of living in California, it was the scariest thing I have ever experienced.
Incredible story. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
After the many aftershocks from the Loma Prieta earthquake ceased, the Bay Area was devastated by the amount of damage done. The damage cost to practically rebuild the entire area was roughly $6 to $10 billion. In total, 63 people died and over 3,500 people were injured. The reason of substantial damage to buildings and bridges was the fact that they were built on watery soil, which vibrated when the earthquake occurred. When the soil shakes, it increases the potential damage towards buildings and bridges. This is called liquefaction. When power was lost, some buildings had it restored within a few hours, but roughly 10,000 people had it restored about 2 days later. Since a lot of buildings were damaged, many people had to live in gymnasiums for about a week before more space was made for them to live. Roughly 12,000 homes and 2,600 businesses were damaged during the earthquake. Bridges that collapsed were either fixed directly or destroyed then rebuilt. Most buildings had to be manually destroyed because they were either uninhabitable or not fixable. A 1-mile section in the Cypress structure portion of the Nimitz Freeway collapsed onto the lower roadway. The rest of the structure was torn down by the end of the year. The Embarcadero Freeway was demolished as a result of the earthquake. It was replaced with a much more attractive boulevard. Roughly 80 bridges were destroyed as a result of the earthquake. Finally, in 1995, reconstruction was over and the physical damage was gone, leaving only the emotional damage behind.